All right, we're gonna do our best to demonstrate the kitchen area and what our options are. We have some dashed lines which are like optional, some of the solid lines which are pre-set in stone. For example, this short wall right here, and then the wall back along this back wall for the bathroom. Also, if we want a washer and dryer, we have this washer and dryer area, and then a closet space, and then the master shower back beyond that. Now, it's important to note, and this is where that pocket door will go, it's important to note if we back up, we sight along that wall, and if we're standing here looking right there, we turn straight around and we are at the edge of the sink. So if you're standing at the center of the sink right here, you turn around, you're going to have just a sliver of that corner obscuring the view, but you'll be able to see everything else. You'll miss out on like 6 inches or 12 inches of space in that back corner, but everything else is good. Now, so that's important to keep in mind when we do this layout. A couple of options. If we have the fridge against this wall and we extend the wall all the way out to there, we can have a 30-inch cabinet right here, which is good counter space. That's enough for coffee, tea, whatnot, and it's not going to obstruct the view anywhere from this the sink area. Now that does leave this area open. It'd be a galley kitchen. Well, it's a combination kitchen. So you have the fridge and the cabinet, open space, and then have a dishwasher, a 12-inch cabinet, sink, anywhere from 18 to 27 inches. Then your range, and then this is a 12-inch space, but see this dashed line, that would be a Lazy Susan cabinet where your peninsula would start, and you'd have 2 other 30-inch cabinets there. So this would be 8 feet out. Now this is in line. It's in line with the rest of the kitchen. It would all be in a straight line to there. That's one option. Now it does leave about a 5 or 6 foot space open, which is completely open to go in and out. That is a little bit of unused space. However, with the corner here and here, that going down to the hallway, it opens up the rest of the kitchen. Because it's not, the kitchen is partly in the corner of the room as it was, and partly open to the rest. So it's still an open format. All right, switching gears, let's look at another option where we move the fridge. We move the fridge there. We take the dishwasher, move the dishwasher. Let's see, if I remember this right, taking the range to within 12 inches. We've got to have at least 12 inches of space between your sink and your range. You can't put it up next to it. You need to have like 12 inches of space on one side and at least like 18 inches of space on the other of your range for countertop space. That's why it's not going to be good next to the fridge. So if we do an L shape here, we can still have the dishwasher and a Lazy Susan in this corner. You have a Lazy Susan which uses up that good space because that's about 12 inches from the sink. So dishwasher, Lazy Susan, sink, small cabinet, range, and then you can have Lazy Susan there, or at this point you'd have to have like a 3 or 4 inch filler and then come out at this line with your peninsula, which would be notched under the window. The downside to this, with the peninsula coming out here, is that your fridge right here, it's not really a downside. You have the hallway right here. It makes an open space right here. However, you can add, so we've got that other piece of cardboard. So this one is 36, that's the old sink one, that's 36 wide. You want to have, so if we're about here, you want to have 36 inches of walking space. You can have an island, like at Carlin's apartment. You're going to have an island start right there and run over in this area. Now, it would be a smaller island. It would only be about 3 feet wide because you need the walking space right here, which again is lined up with that wall, to right there. You need a walking space there. So it would be from this corner to there. That's a small island. That's about 4 feet wide. So 4 foot by 2 foot. That's not bad. That's good for extra prep work. It gives you an entrance here and an entrance there to go in and around the kitchen in a circle, so you're not trapped. That would keep a peninsula there. Now, we're talking about having the peninsula be an island. If you had that peninsula come out to be an island, and it was coming off of cabinets that ended here, like the range ended there, you'd still need 36 inches of walking space around that. That leaves you, 3, 4, 5, that leaves you 3 feet of an island right here where that peninsula would be. You could squeeze 3 bar stools there. Generally you want 20 to 24 inches per bar stool. You would have a bar stool here, a bar stool there, and you could squeeze another one over in that walkway, but there wouldn't be an overhang. It would be just the overhang on this side of it. This window, raising it up to the same height as the kitchen window, is not a huge deal. That can be done, and it would give a lot of space. So if you had your peninsula here, you could have a 2 foot by 4 foot island if your fridge was turned that way. Otherwise, you're going to have more of a U-shape or a galley kitchen with a peninsula. So hopefully this explanation helps. I think one thing we're forgetting is that this corner, I mean, the old wall would end up right across from where the fridge is at, but the new wall, to have your washer and dryer and larger master bath, would come out to this point if your fridge was turned and you had a 30-inch cabinet next to it. So that's if we're looking to expand the master bathroom. We can always leave the master bathroom as it is, having single sink, commode, shower, and that's it. Or we can expand it out, pushing that wall out. If we don't do that, the only place we can put that washer and dryer is like you have at Jimmy's condo or into the master closet. So you have a couple of things, several things going on, but some of the elements that we need to be aware of is the big takeaways. You need a 36-inch walkway to be comfortable going around. You can squeeze it down to 30 inches, but it's super tight. I hope this helps. I'm going to zoom back out so you can see the whole floor plan again, of everything painted on the floor, of where things could possibly go. I hope this helps. Let me know what your thoughts are.